everyone, this is CricketSong with Inner Wisdom, and today I'm going to make a couple of videos. This first video that I'm going to do is a request from Ballerina Boy to talk about my altar of the dead. And since it's near Samhain, I suppose this is a good time as any to talk about my altar of the dead. Now, the reason why I decided to set up a permanent altar of the dead is because I did read The Witch's Book of the Dead by Christian Day. This book, I know most of you know what that book is, and there's been a whole bunch of videos going around. Now understand that I read that book a while back when Moonlit Opal first suggested it, because her and I had been talking about it and she suggested it to me specifically, and I was curious, so I picked it up and I read it back then. Now, I'm not going to go into my review of the book. I'm not going to discuss what I think of the book. I will tell you that there is many things in the book that resonated with me personally, and there are many things in the book that do not resonate with me at all. But you need to understand that my relationship with spirit, hindsight now, has been strong for many, many, many years, even before I realized what it was. It wasn't until the last few years that I truly understand what my relationship with spirit is. So after reading this book by Christian Day, I decided that since I have and am working stronger or working more on my relationship with spirit and the spirit realm, it seemed apt for me to have a permanent altar, because on Samhain I have always dedicated part of my main altar to become an ancestor altar, and it was on Samhain that that altar really became the focal point. But now, because I work more with spirit, I felt it was apt to set up a specific altar space for my working with spirit. Now, what I did is I did a lot of the, well, not a lot. I will tell you. In the Book of the Dead, there are some specific things I did that Christian Day suggests. So I did do a cleansing of my altar as he suggests. I have a resin skull that he suggests. You have a human skull. I have a resin skull. On page 21 he has making the pact. I did follow that. I put up my altar. I cleansed and blessed my altar. I blessed the skull. And so I think those are the things that he suggests. So I did do those things. I do not daily devotionals, but I do devotionals, but I do not use what Christian Day suggests. But at this point, I am going to bring you over to the altar and discuss with you the points of my altar and what I specifically use my altar for when it is working and a working altar. So I'm going to bring you over to the altar now. Okay, so here we are at my altar of the dead. I'm going to light the candles, and I will explain why I have one white and two black. Okay. The white the white candle signifies me. The two black signify the two spirits that I generally work with when working with my altar of the dead. I work with the spirit realm in general, but I have two specific pacts or promises or vows that I made to two specific spirit entities that I work with when doing tarot readings or specific spirit work for myself. The first person is my grandmother here. Her name is Isabel Bro, and she died January 14th, 2003. She transitioned to the spirit realm. And then the other person, my near and dear spiritual sister, Erin Sullivan, who died September 18th of 2011. And I established my altar to the dead after Erin's death. So I have their pictures here. I have this cute little angel to represent Erin, because she is Roman Catholic. I saw this couple of, I think, a month after she died, because she died in September. It was probably around November, Christmas time, when they started having all the Christmas decorations out. It might have even been October, and I saw this in the store and knew that this was a sign from her that I was meant to get. I have my triquetra. I'm very fond of my triquetra, and this represents protection for me here. I have a key, a skeleton key, which gives me key to occult and spiritual knowledge, which is why it's also here. I have my statue of Anubis, who I work with Isis and Thoth as my matron and patron, but Anubis has come into my life at about the time I set up the altar, and he is my mentor when dealing with the spirit realm and necromancy. As Christian Day suggests, I got myself a skull. This is made of resin. When I did my meditation with my skull, she revealed to me that her name is Chelsea. She is also a guide, just as Anubis is, to delve into the realm of the dead and to work with necromancy. Because I am connected to tarot, tarot resonates with me. I keep my Egyptian card of death here on my altar as well, as a representation. I actually had the card on my altar before I ended up getting the statue, and it just seemed to want to stay. Now this skull is actually where I keep my incense. I have a specific incense blend. It's actually the blend that Christopher Day suggests in his book when working with the dead and offering devotionals up to the dead. I use this incense. I did also use the oil, which I have underneath here. The oil that he suggests to use, the anointing oil, is also an oil that I crafted and made. It's the oil he suggests. I keep that in my altar, which is a great little storage area. This also, let me show you up at the top here, is a scrying mirror that I also use when scrying. This altar is also set on the west wall of my home, where my main altar is set on the east wall for new beginnings. This one is set on the west wall. What other things can I tell you? Well, I usually light the candles and set the incense when I am doing readings, tarot readings, when I am doing scrying, when I am doing table tipping, and when I am doing seances. It is only used during these times. It's not, I don't work with it as often as my main altar. It has specific necromancy purposes, because for me, it is what it's meant to be used for. Corey asked if I did daily devotions to those who I have devoted myself to or worked with and have established this relationship with Erin and my grandmother Isabel. And I explained that I don't specifically come to my altar and do daily devotions. But because it is here in our dining room, and it is in a very prominent place, the heart of our home, I feel that I speak with them daily, because it's quite easy to remember to do so, because their pictures are here, and I see this altar. It actually, if you look, I'm going to show you, my computer is right there, and that is our living room. So I have the altar to the dead in a very prominent place, and if we turn here, you will see that my main altar is right across the way from my altar for the dead. So it is in a place that is quite prominent and where I see it. So whenever I see their pictures, there is a constant reminder that I am here, they are here, and we are fully connected. So I guess this is what I have to share with you in regards to my altar of the dead. If anyone has any questions, specific questions that I haven't answered, feel free to ask in the comment section or in a private message. I love you.